of all, none of this is relevant. None of it. The reason being is because the partnership tasks are not relevant to the books.
The entire entity that is non sequitur, which means all the episodes, all the music, the Teespring, the Patreon, everything belongs to Steve.
Yes. You don't make any request when you're showing the books. You're not suing. You don't have no authorization to make a single request. That's not how any of this works. So, I'm happy to tell what's going on about that. So by the way, we're going to skip those parts right there. Even though the passwords are no longer working, it doesn't matter. We're going to skip this part. So,
expose me, boomer.
He's doing this post hoc.
Expose me, boomer.
I'm happy to tell what's going on about that. So by the way, we're going to skip those parts right there. Even though the passwords are no longer working, it doesn't matter. We're going to skip those parts. This is none of this really makes that much of a difference here. Do you guys want to read it? I mean, it's
all bullshit.
What's this about your playoff account? What is this about your Patreon?
Oh yeah. They're enforceable. The fact that he hasn't given me the 3, he hasn't given me the books, he hasn't given me the primary ownership of the channel, and he's destroyed the Twitter. That's 3 contempt charges right there. Mm-hmm. It's all probably gonna be wrapped into one, but this is what when we send it to the judge. Saying that he's failed to comply. This is, and the reason I'll tell you guys why we're doing this. I really don't mind. Again, I've been transparent from day one. I thanked all 500 people, 400 people who are watching that have been trusting me, I'm sure half of them are people that hate me, but it's okay. They're still watching. Thank you. But I've been transparent, and so I'll always let you guys know what I'm doing. I don't bluff. People who know me now, I have not bluffed on anything. I've told you guys the exact truth. The reason why we're doing this, and Kyle could find this out, it's perfectly fine, is the slower we take it, the worse it becomes for Kyle. Because the judge does give pro se people enough rope to hang themselves, but when you do stupid stuff like this, you're probably going to end up in jail. All right?
I don't see the Non Sequitur Show Facebook either.
Expose me, boomer.
So, is the Non Sec Twitter gone?
I am sending it to you right now. I'm sending it to you right now.
Sending so many screenshots.
Yeah, it's gone.
Yep, and I'm also going to post it in the live chat as well.
Okay. Where you post? Let me see in the live chat right there.
Yeah, this account doesn't exist.
Yep.
This account doesn't exist at Non-Sec Show.
Awesome.
I think he just screwed the pooch on that one.
So, did somebody hurry up and grab that handle? That'd be great. And so we can have it back. Just in case.
Well, yeah, it doesn't matter if you grab the handle, but well, you can't. No, unless
I wouldn't bother.
Yeah.
Same people following Steve McRae.
And let me make this very clear. There was an order not to delete anything electronically. All messages on Twitter are stored on Twitter. Nothing ever gets deleted.
Expose me, boomer.
Anything that was deleted, we will get from Twitter. There's ways of doing it. I know how to do it.
Expose me, boomer. Expose me, boomer.
And we'll send it to the court as contempt.
Yeah, weird. How did you figure out how to do that?
I looked around. It's very difficult. Do you know how to do it, by the way?
I'm the one who sent you the video.
that well, we got some legal stuff there, but as of now, the contract is basically unenforceable because it's considered to be breach of fiduciary duty and fraud. So the contract becomes null and void and is no longer enforceable by either party, basically. So once we're not trying to enforce the contract. The contract has already been established. This is the case. Now, what's the damages? You can't go back and change any of that.
Remember I was saying I was going through all the non sequitur comment section, and like if it was actually this expensive to make graphics and designs, literally nobody would have this kind of stuff on Twitter. Yeah. Or on their Twitch streams or thumbnails on YouTube. Like who you think, like, I don't know, let's say Markiplier doesn't make his own thumbnails, and I'm pretty sure he doesn't anymore. I'm sure he used to, but I don't think he does anymore. He's got an editor now. You really think Markiplier, with the amount of money he even makes, is paying this much for his thumbnails?
No, hell no. Pay $69,000 operating cost.
Free content for people on YouTube. We're just getting charged out the ass.
Wait till you guys get billed for how much I'm billing you for actually having you watch this kind of stuff. I charge liable for what's called conversion. That's what this is. Now, my lawyer talked about embezzlement. That is a criminal charge. That would be done by the state if the judge deems it. If judge wanted to go about it, he said we would have to go down to the sheriff's department and we would have to file a criminal embezzlement charge. That's a whole separate type of litigation. My lawyer.
Last night, Steve responded to Kyle Curtis's letter to the judge on his own channel. Also, the channel In Time responded in just the way that anyone would think they would respond. I had been preparing a video breaking down the document that you see in front of you in a more short form and concise way. But since they've weighed in, I think I'm going to try to make a few points. So, going through the papers live, we came to the conclusion that basically Non Sequitur owes out $19,851. The rebuttal from Steve's camp is that Kyle can't charge for his artistic work. Whether that's true or not, they were very, let's say, nasty about the idea that Kyle could have some type of value from his artistic endeavor. I find it very disrespectful, as any artist, creator, any music composer, anyone should. Basically coming from someone that doesn't understand how you put together these things. Let's go through and show each side and ask ourselves which one is right, which one is wrong, logically what's really going on behind the scenes. Because really, the things that McRae and his camp said were everything perfect for McRae. Everything has to be the way that would make it perfect for McRae. And everything has to be the way that would screw over Kyle Curtis. Like I've been saying since I've interviewed Kyle, what if both screwed up? What if both were responsible for this? And what if now both of them are just trying to get whatever vengeance that they can upon each other? I know that Steve is trying to get whatever he can. He's trying to be as vengeful as possible, as nasty as possible. Kyle just seems like by his action and by his paperwork, he wants to walk away from this without Non Sequitur using any of his art or any of his music, and his art and music being removed from the previous broadcasts. Why would Steve have a problem with that? It's almost like he wants to force Kyle to give everything to him. That doesn't make sense legally. Kyle has to be charged with a crime before he could be held accountable for it in a court of law. They're not just going to assume all these things like Steve is saying. An example, he says that the court already has labeled Kyle in contempt and the court has already labeled Kyle fraudulent, and because of that, their business agreement no longer stands and no longer matters, and basically he just gets everything and gets whatever he wants from all of this. That would seem to me like very evil, very nasty. Kyle making those things, he has the choice for them not to be shown in the Non Sequitur videos because they didn't get an actual agreement written down. Because they don't have it on paper, Steve can't hold him accountable to give his artistic work to Non Sequitur and let it stay there. Kyle 100% has the option to have all of that taken out and have all of it stripped. And I don't know why McRae would care either way. Kyle also has the option to tell him that he doesn't want any video where Kyle Curtis is present on the channel after Steve gets the channel. But before we go into all of that, let's just start to break this down and let's start to ask ourselves the logical questions. Just to give you a sneak preview like I always do here, Steve McRae wants everything. He wants everyone to agree with him, and he wants everyone to hate Kyle Curtis. And by Kyle's actions, it just seems like Kyle wants to get out of the whole picture and move on, except for one part, the question of whether Steve is going to owe Kyle money or Kyle is going to owe Steve money. I think at this point, personally, it would only be fair if they just split ties, walked away, and deleted the channel. They're never going to be able to come to the agreement that the channel can stay where it is, and they both can split the money going forward from the ad revenue. That'll never happen with these two. But either way, let's get into this and let's break it down.
No, 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 no. Hi, welcome to time. My name is Nicholas, gonna lose his mind Suter, and with me, as always, is Ansgar Odinson.
So Nick was a member of my Discord server throughout the entire thing when me and Steve started to butt heads. Doing something that friends do. Admitting that Steve was wrong, admitting that he was likely having a nervous breakdown, and admitting that maybe once he got out of this nervous breakdown phase, he would stop doing this and actually get to doing what was right or what was skeptical. So I could give Nick credit for trying to do that for a friend. But what you don't realize, Nick, is when you make excuses for your friends and allow them to be dicks, be nasty, and you do not directly stand up to them, and on YouTube, if you do care about somebody, you're not willing to call them out on your show when you work with them, not only are you making yourself complicit, but you're doing damage control for them, which makes you look bad.
Having said that, he has proved me wrong, and he has most decidedly shown up.
He's talking about Kyle Curtis showing up and finally being there, which everybody should want, including Steve, including Steve's lawyer, including the judge.
Your show does, and what he's saying is they paid me to do the art. They paid 100, and he's saying 120 an hour, and he's actually saying it was worth more, but he was given a discount rate of 120 an hour, but he still owns it. And the non-sec cannot rebroadcast it.
I don't know any individual artist. I mean, because it's funny, we're doing, we're being the chat's being silly here, saying pay Ansgar, he's 120, but I don't know any solo artist who gets $120 an hour working on stuff like that. I mean, that's
You got to be kidding me. Why don't you and Steve's guys scroll down in the document to the evidence there? Everyone out there that's charging for all of this, they get paid way more. And yeah, PewDiePie, Markiplier, all of them, they pay way more than $120 per show. Average hourly rate for design services for graphics and music. All of this is in the video. You guys are definitely doing damage control for Steve McRae. You two are. End Time is nothing but a mouthpiece to defend Steve McRae. Such a fail.
Non-sequitur Twitter account, and he has said he will, on his own justification, violate the order and delete it. And he's not waiting for it to be adjudicated. He is not requesting any special...
You guys are douchers. I'm calling you out again. You're telling me the Twitter account is so important, even though that Kyle used it as his private DMs for all that time. You, Ansgar, Steve, Chesh, and Reds, and everybody else can't just say, you know what, we don't care about that. We don't want somebody's entire history of DM conversations with others. You guys all want to sit there and pour through Kyle's conversations with people. You do not want to give him the privacy that he's owed as a United States citizen, as anyone else would be. Sit there and pull for it to be given to a group of people that are known doxers, known harassers, known trolls that like to cherry pick conversations and try to use it against people. And you're okay with this? You're telling me that End Time as a YouTube channel could not at least defend not Kyle, the people that he had conversations with on this? That's what you're all saying just to get points in a war with an audience over this stupid topic? You guys should be ashamed of yourself. Steve should too, but he is such an overwhelming narcissist that he cannot be ashamed of himself. It's a function of his narcissism, but you guys should be ashamed of yourself. And I think people should really let this weigh before they decide to sit and talk with you and Ansgar in the future. Even regardless of what you feel about this order from the court, whether it's right or wrong. Why can't you weigh in on that in this? Why did that not cross your mind? That should really be thought about. It really should, Nick. I'm sorry.
Defendant invested significant time and his commercial design skills and experience to the channel and all the shows by creating the images and music for them. The pricing for these services has been based.
Let's hope to God that Nick, because Kyle had a copyright that was not non sequitur and it was his own, and that he did outsource it and can show this and prove this, that he had a copyright separate from non sequitur this whole time. Let's hope to God that Nick makes the right decision here.
Based on a significant discount on the average market rates for external contractors and the defendant's normal commercially hourly available hourly rate per show. The commercial invoices for services rendered are now due for payment. A, why now?
Why now? Are you kidding me? Because they've never been paid. Steve is asking for monies to be paid now that have never been paid out in non sequitur. Steve went to court and demanded for all this to happen, so Kyle submitted it. Why now? Nick, you are asking questions that you know the answers to, that are cited, that fit Steve's narrative here. And don't think I won't call you out for it.
They should have been due. If he's been keeping his accounting, they should have been due each fiscal year.
You got to be joking. So should have everything else with non sequitur. Why aren't you talking about that too? Why right now aren't you giving Steve shit for not getting paid throughout the non sequitur? Why isn't this the perfect time for you or anyone else to bring up how he told Kyle not to pay him, and then non sequitur lost all of its money, lost all of its profitability? Why aren't you bringing up how Steve not only did that and told Kyle not to pay him, but then admitted to Shannon Q that he did tell Kyle not to pay him, and that it wasn't Kyle's fault, that it was Steve's fault that he didn't get paid? But yet, why aren't you calling out Steve also for railing the internet against Kyle for not paying him, knowing that it wasn't true, knowing that he wasn't being honest about it? Are you going to bring that up, Nick?
He's doing this post hoc. He's doing this post hoc. He's doing this post hoc. He's doing this post hoc after the fact. Whoa, I forgot to bill you for $20,000. Just slipped my...
No, he's not. You are 100% busted here for pushing Steve's narrative. I know you want to defend him. I know he's your friend. I know you didn't want to see him go down this road. I know that you wanted to see him come out and do the right thing, but now you yourself, in losing faith in Steve, in losing faith in the situation, have also resigned yourself to making the same mistakes that Steve McRae has made, defending them and becoming an apologist for his lies and propaganda toward the very community that supports you all. This will be the undoing of end time. Mark my words, big guy. And here is the famous clip that I have been holding back this whole time, which will be one of the main points I make in my Truth of Non Sequitur video that will be coming out sometime in the future. This is Steve McRae admitting that he told Kyle not to pay him. He spent an entire 9 months on my channel, on other creators' channels, on his channel, all out on YouTube, making people think that Kyle is a criminal. Kyle is scum. Kyle should be hated because he didn't pay Steve, and Steve had to wear broken headphones. Steve had to have broken glasses. Steve's daughter isn't going to get money. Steve's daughter. If he really cared about his daughter, he would have taken the money when Kyle offered it to him 6 different times and put it in the bank for her. It was all a lie. And this is the proof. This is right after Reds and Steve forced Kyle into a discussion with them and then sat down and recorded it before purposely leaking it out onto the internet. Wow, it seems like they don't really care about privacy, do they? This is what happened. Take a listen.
Maybe Steve McRae would do more for the show if he got paid in all caps. He has to do other channels to make the fucking money. I was a patron to support Kyle and Steve.
This is what Red's Rhetoric has done for 9 months. This is what Steve did for 9 months. This is what he told me, so I put it on my channel, and one of the reasons I had to stand up so loud to then undo it. This is what Cheshire does. This is what Dick Dawson does. This is what Nick Suter does. This is what all of them do. They find something that make the community in an outrage. Then they center on it, lie about it, warp it out, cherry pick it, do anything they can to morph it into the fuel to the social justice outrage fire, and then they give it out to you because Shannon Q, ironically an admitted SJW, calls them out for this lie that they've been pushing. Shannon Q does, and then Steve admits to it. But this was back on June 11th of 2019. After June 11th, him and Reds and all these people that I've named and many more that have Steve's back went around in the community and continued the lie while ignoring Shannon, who was complaining against them. Listen to him admit it.
and Steven, all caps. So,
Steve, did Kyle give you the opportunity to have money, but you weren't able to take it because you were on Social Security?
When I put this out a few weeks ago, or a month ago or so, telling everybody this is the thing that exposes Steve McRae as a manipulator and a liar due to his actions after he got called out by Shannon here. It's weird. I wonder why Red's unlisted it, you know?
Or veterans pension, it would have affected that, and Kyle didn't. Because you're making it seem as though Kyle withheld money from you.
You're making it seem as if Kyle withheld money from you. Steve says, no. Kyle didn't withhold money from me. It was my fault that I didn't get paid. Take a listen.
No, let me make this very clear. I asked, Kyle said he would talk to me how it could be distributed.
Now, he's straw manning again. He's going into something. He's non sequituring again. He's going into something that doesn't follow. He's going into why he didn't get this getting paid and that getting get paid. No, the point is, why are you and Reds making it like the big issue is that he didn't pay you when you know you didn't get paid because you told him not to? He did it because he wanted to continue drawing a payment that was higher, that would be lowered if he got the payment publicly and this agency. I don't know who it is. I don't think it's Medi-Cal or Medicaid or whatever. It could be a debt that he owes somebody from a lawsuit, some type of support issue. I don't know. But that money he did not want altered by a big payment coming in because then that would go up. So he told Kyle to hold it. He should be being railed for this. If you're going to rail Kyle for anything that has to do with non sequitur, you should equally rail Steve. What have I been saying this whole time? Both of them messed up. Both of them did things that were wrong. Both of them defrauded things, and both of them should be held accountable. But wonder why there's a whole community of people, and I used to be one of them, that goes around defending Steve McRae for these types of things. Oh, I know why. Because he lies about these things. He changes these things. And this should have been known the whole time. He was on my show months after this, making Kyle seem like a douchebag for not paying him. He specifically says in that clip, I say to him, dude, it makes no sense. Nobody doesn't want to get paid for their money. Of course you wouldn't tell him not to pay you. What did Steve say to that? Did he say, no, Uni, I did tell him not to pay me? No, on my show, he said, I know, right? Of course I wanted to be paid. I just needed a little bit of time to get some advice on it. He admits here that the entirety of non sequitur he wasn't getting paid because he told Kyle not to pay him. He chose to have those glasses. He chose to have those headphones just so he could go get a cheap green screen and make it look like he's sitting in a damn library.
Asked him, okay, that's fine. Let's talk about how you're going to get it to me. He has never once told me how he's going to get it to me. He's never.
Yes, he did tell you how he would get it to you. He said he wouldn't pay you under the table because then he'll be responsible for every bit of taxes on it.
Offered to have a discussion of how he's going to get it to me.
How did you want to be paid there, big guy? Did you want to be paid with a check? Did you want to be paid with a transfer? Did you want to be paid in some way that could be tracked for taxes and be applied to these payments, these Medi-Cal, this benefit, or these support payments you owe? Oh, you didn't want them to go up. You didn't want them to know about it. You wanted to be paid under the table, right? No, that couldn't be it. You would never do that because a bunch of people on the internet constantly defend you while making Kyle seem like the criminal, like you guys are doing with this lawsuit. Couldn't be that it's the opposite.
I said, Kyle, that's fine. Let's figure out how you're going to get it to me. I thought he was going to bring it to me in October when we have this meeting in October.
Do you hear him? He's elaborated on this. It'll be in the Truth of Non Sequitur. He wanted Kyle Curtis to pay him in cash under the table so that it didn't affect his support payment. That's why he won't talk about it. That's why he's turned me into an enemy. Because shortly after realizing what I did about the Katie Joy situation, I started listening to the criticisms against Steve McRae, and so should you. If you are honorable, skeptical, anything at all that tries to go by evidence, you should, because Steve McRae is worse than Kyle Curtis was. Kyle Curtis just fudged some money inside of his show for whatever reason. Steve McRae is screwing over some agency, some payment that he owes, and he knows he is.
He can bring cash to me, okay?
He could bring cash and pay it under the table. Why, Uni, wouldn't this be about the time that you should go in and do one of your famous outros where you play loud music and actually show the huge impact that this clip has? I think you're right, Bizzy.
And Steven, all caps. So,
Steve, did Kyle give you the opportunity to have money, but you weren't able to take it because you were on Social Security or veterans pension, and it would have affected that? And Kyle didn't, because you're making it seem as though Kyle withheld money from you.
No, let me make this very clear. I asked, Kyle said he would talk to me how it could be distributed. I asked him, okay, that's fine. Let's talk about how you're going to get it to me. He has never once told me how he's going to get it to me. He's never offered to have a discussion of how he's going to get it to me. I said, Kyle, that's fine. Let's figure out how you're going to get it to me. I thought he was going to bring it to me in October when we have this meeting in October. He can bring cash to me. Okay, but he has never asked me about how he says, I've told him, he said, how do you want it? I said, well, let's discuss it. I said, fine, we'll have a discussion on it. That discussion never happened.
And by the way, in order for that discussion to happen, I can actually vouch for Steve. Steve has been asking for weeks.
Let's make this very clear. Let's make this very clear. Let's make this very clear. Kyle said he would talk to me how could be distributed. Let's make this very clear. I asked him, okay, that's fine. Let's make this very I asked, Kyle said he would talk to me how could be distributed. I asked him, okay, that's fine. Let's talk about how you're going to get it. He has never once told me. Let's make this very clear. Discussion of how he's going to get it to me. I said, Kyle, let's make this very clear. You're going to get it to me. I said, Kyle, you're gonna get it to me. I said, Kyle, that's fine. Let's figure out how you're gonna get it to me. I thought he was gonna bring it to me in October when we have this meeting in October. He can bring cash to me. Thought he was going to bring it to me in October when we have this. He says, He said, how do you want it? I said, well, he says, I told him, how do you want it? I said, well,
Last thing I'll say is that this last clip does prove that Steve didn't get paid by his own volition, which means those that are supporting him saying Kyle didn't pay him or it wasn't Steve's fault and Steve is owed all this money because Kyle's a bad guy. He's owed the money because Steve is a bad guy. Okay, whatever reason it is, everybody's glossing over this. Everybody would be holding that against Katie or Kyle if they had done that, but Steve gets in out. This is why no one respects your group, and it's why you'll never be able to criticize anyone ever again. And the Super Chat Fund Drive is probably the best thing I can use to show that the community around Steve does not care about their audience. They did rip you off for $1,200. They lied to you about Katie and a strike to advertise the thing and get the money, just so he could try to make Katie look bad. The thing that exposes it is that none of the other creators said a thing. Yet, in times over there, calling out Kyle for the Twitter part of this, or calling out Kyle for wanting to get paid for his artistic stuff and keep the stuff that he can prove he has a copyright on. So in time, are you going to do a video about that Super Chat Drive and call Steve out for ripping the community off, just like you would have done if Kyle would have done it? Oh, I didn't think so. Maybe you should get to that, along with all the other creators that are supporting Steve. I don't know. Hey, Team Skeptic, you called me out on DFOTY and on your channel because you said that I kicked people out of Steve's live chat on the Great Debate channel. Actually, I only kicked 2 people because they were saying things they should have been kicked for. I didn't kick more than that. He lied to you, but you still believed it. But what? Why haven't you called him out on DFOTY or on your channel for ripping your same community off for $1,200? These are the reasons why the community around Steve is exposed, just like Steve is exposed by that clip I just dropped. All the sympathy that he's garnered from the community was false. He wasn't a victim, and yet he is treated the way he is, and he's uncriticizable for everything he does because you can't criticize that victim, right? Wrong. That's exactly what I'm going to do. with my video, The Truth of Non Sequitur, which won't only contain that clip, but it'll contain even Steve saying the opposite of that clip for months across my channel, his channel, and every other channel he went on. I'm UNIRock. Keep your eye out. This is just an update to keep you guys up to date from that live stream I did. See you next time. See ya. I'm going to the Rock a Lot channel. I'm chilling for a little bit. See you there. Peace.
Steve, did Kyle give you the opportunity to have money, but you weren't able to take it because you were on Social Security or veterans pension, and it would have affected that, and Kyle didn't? Because you're making it seem as though Kyle withheld money from you.
No, let me make this very clear. I asked, Kyle said he would talk to me how it could be distributed. I asked him, okay, that's fine. Let's talk about how you're going to get it to me. He has never once told me how he's going to get it to me. He's never offered to have a discussion of how he's going to get it to me. I said, Kyle, that's fine. Let's figure out how you're going to get it to me. I thought he was going to bring it to me in October when we have this meeting in October. He could bring cash to me, okay? But he has never asked me about how he says, I've told him, he said, how do you want it? I said, well, let's discuss it. I said, fine, we'll have a discussion on it. That discussion never happened.
And by the way, in order for that discussion to happen, I can actually vouch for Steve. Steve has been asking for weeks